a massive alien space station. Many species move through the halls. Humans are rare here. The main character, Elias, a human engineer, stands completely still. He is staring at an alien woman named Sarai. She notices. Everyone around them becomes nervous. In this galaxy, staring is a sign of threat or dominance. Many wars started this way. Guards slowly reach for their weapons. Sarai feels insulted, then afraid. She finally asks him, her voice shaking. "Why are you staring at me, human?" The station goes silent. Elias does not answer right away. His hands tremble. His eyes are full of pain, not anger. This delay builds tension and curiosity. Is he about to insult her? Is he planning violence? Is this how humans start wars? Elias remembers Earth. Short flashes. A blue sky. A woman laughing. Fire falling from space. Viewers don't yet know what happened, only that Earth is gone. Sarai notices his breathing change. She realizes something is wrong. The guards hesitate. Sarai asks again, softer this time. Elias finally speaks. He says, "Because you look like someone I failed to save." This shocks everyone. Starring is no longer seen as a threat. It becomes something else, grief. Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The station was never quiet. Even at rest it breathed. Metal halls hummed with low energy. Lights glowed in soft colors meant to calm hundreds of different species. Footsteps echoed from every direction. Voices clicked, buzzed, hissed, and whispered in languages no human throat could copy. Elias stood still in the middle of it all. He did not move. He did not blink. He only stared. Across the wide transit hall stood a female alien, tall and slender, her skin smooth like polished stone. Soft blue markings ran down her neck and arms, glowing faintly under the station lights. Her eyes were large, dark, and deep, reflecting the stars outside the station windows. Her name was Sarai, and Elias could not look away. At first, no one noticed. Humans were rare here. Most beings ignored him the same way they ignored machinery or walls. Just another fragile species passing through a place far bigger than itself. But then Sarai felt it. A pressure. A presence. She turned her head slightly, just enough to see him. The human. Staring directly at her. Her steps slowed. Her breathing changed. Around her, several aliens noticed the shift in her posture. A few stopped walking. Others leaned away. A soft ripple of tension spread through the hall. In this part of the galaxy, starring was not harmless. Among many species, it was a challenge. A threat. A promise of violence. Sarai stopped completely and turned to face him. Elias did not move. His brown eyes were wide, unblinking, filled with something she could not name. Not anger, not hunger, not fear. Pain. Cold, quiet pain. Her fingers twitched at her side. Two nearby station guards noticed and adjusted their grip on their weapons. They did not aim yet, but they were ready. "Human," Sarai said. Her voice carried easily across the open hall. "Why are you staring at me?" The hall went silent. Not fully silent, machines still hummed, air still flowed, but every living being stopped speaking. Dozens of eyes turned toward them. Elias heard her, but he did not answer. His chest rose and fell slowly. His hands hung stiff at his sides. For a moment it looked as if he might collapse. Sarai narrowed her eyes. She had dealt with humans before. Most avoided eye contact. Most kept their heads low. This one did neither. "Human," she repeated, sharper now. "Do you challenge me?" The guards took one step closer. Elias swallowed. The sound was loud in his ears. He was not seeing the station anymore. He was seeing blue sky. He was seeing clouds drifting slowly over a green field. He was hearing laughter. A woman stood in front of him in that memory, sunlight in her hair, eyes warm and full of life. She was speaking, but the words were lost under the roar of something burning the air. Fire fell from the sky. The ground shook. People screamed. Elias blinked. The memory faded, but the pain stayed. Sarai noticed the change. The human stare softened. His eyes shimmered, wet at the edges. His jaw tightened as if holding something back. This was not aggression. This was grief. "Answer me," Sarai said again, quieter now. Elias opened his mouth. Closed it. The station guards hesitated. One of them tilted its head, confused. Humans were known for many things: fear, courage, stubbornness, but this was different. Finally, Elias spoke. His voice was low, rough, carefully controlled. "Because," he said, "you look like someone I failed to save." The words fell into the hall like a dropped glass. No one moved. Sarai felt the breath leave her chest. She had expected an insult, a challenge, even an attack. Not this. "You stared," she said slowly, "because of loss." Elias nodded once. "Yes." The guards relaxed slightly, though their weapons stayed ready. Sarai studied him now, truly looking for the first time. The human was older than she first thought. Lines marked his face. His shoulders carried a weight that did not belong to the weak species the galaxy believed humans to be. "Who was she?" Sarai asked. Elias did not answer right away. He turned his head and looked out through the massive station window. Beyond it, stars burned silently in the endless dark. "My people called her a teacher," he said. "I called her family." Sarai felt a strange tightening in her chest. Teachers were sacred in her culture. "So she is gone," Sarai said. "Yes." "How?" Elias' fingers curled slowly into his palms. "We trusted others to protect us," he said. "We were told we were safe." He paused. "We were wrong." Sarai felt unease crawl along her spine. Her species was old, powerful. They had signed many protection treaties. They had promised safety to many younger worlds, including Earth. Before she could speak again, a low alarm pulsed through the station. Once, twice, red light washed over the walls. The calm colors vanished. Station security drones lifted from their docks. Holographic signs flashed warnings in dozens of languages. Unknown vessels had entered the sector. Large ones. Military ones. The crowd erupted into motion. Sarai turned toward the alert display, then back to Elias. "You should leave," she said quickly. "Humans are not welcome during security events." Elias did not move. "They are here," he said. "Who?" Sarai demanded. Elias finally looked at her again. "The ones who promised help," he said. "And never came." A deep rumble vibrated through the station as docking clamps locked down. Sarai's breath caught. She suddenly understood something terrible. The way he had stared. The pain in his eyes. The memory he carried. "You knew," she said softly. "You knew this moment would come." Elias nodded. "I hoped it wouldn't," he said. But humans learn fast. Outside the window, massive shadows crossed the stars. Warships. Ancient designs. Sarai felt her legs weaken. Those ships belonged to her people. The same people who had signed Earth's Protection Treaty. The same people who had voted to stay silent. Tears gathered in her eyes, though she did not yet understand why. She looked back at the human engineer, standing calmly in the chaos. "Why did you keep staring at me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Elias answered without hesitation. Because I needed to remember, he said. And because one day someone had to ask why. The station lights flickered. The alarms grew louder. And far beyond the glass, the past was coming to collect its debt. The alarms did not stop. They grew louder, deeper, shaking the station like a warning heartbeat. Red lights spilled across the metal walls, washing every face in the color of danger. Sarai stood frozen. Outside the massive window, the ships moved slowly into view. Their shapes were ancient, heavy, and unmistakable. Thick armor plates reflected the distant stars. Long weapon spines ran along their sides like the bones of a great beast. She knew those ships. Everyone did. They belonged to the Kalari Union, her people. The same union that had promised to protect Earth. The same union that had voted not to intervene. Sarai turned slowly toward Elias. He was calm. Too calm. Around them, station staff rushed for cover. Aliens of many kinds fled toward shelters. Security drones floated into position, weapons charging, though everyone knew it was pointless. The Kalari fleet did not come to ask permission. Sarai's voice trembled. They should not be here. Elias nodded. They said the same thing when Earth burned. The words struck her harder than any weapon. She opened her mouth to speak, but nothing came out. The station's central display flared to life. A symbol appeared, old, powerful, respected across the galaxy. The mark of the Kalari High Command. A voice followed. Cold, controlled, ancient. Attention, station occupants. This platform is now under Kalari authority. Do not resist. Do not interfere. Sarai felt her chest tighten. She had served that authority her entire life. She had believed in its laws, its promises, its honor. Now it sounded different. Elias looked at the display without fear. They finally came out of hiding, he said. Sarai turned sharply. Hiding? Yes, Elias replied. They stayed silent for years, watching, waiting. For what? She asked. For humans to disappear, he said quietly. The station shook as docking clamps engaged. One of the Kalari ships locked onto the station hull. Sarai felt sick. She looked at Elias again, really looked at him. You knew, she said. You knew this would happen. I knew it was possible, he answered. That is why I stayed. Stayed, her voice rose. You could have left. Humans are free traders now. You could be anywhere. Elias gave a small, sad smile. Someone had to be here to answer the question. What question? She asked. He looked directly at her. Why humans do not forget. Before she could respond, heavy footsteps echoed through the hall. Kalari soldiers entered through the main corridor, their armor dark and sharp, their weapons humming with power. They moved with perfect discipline. The crowd fell silent. A Kalari commander stepped forward, his eyes locked onto Sarai first. Advisor Sarai, he said. You will come with us. She straightened instinctively. On what charge? You are not charged, the commander replied. You are recalled. His gaze shifted to Elias. And the human, he added, his tone turning hard. He will be detained. The soldiers raised their weapons. Sarai stepped forward without thinking. No, she said. The commander paused. You object. Yes, she said, her voice shaking but firm. He is under station protection. The commander's eyes narrowed. Advisor, you forget your place. Sarai felt something inside her crack. I remember it, she said. And that is why I speak. The commander ignored her and looked back at Elias. Human, he said. You will come quietly. Elias nodded. I always do, he said. As the soldiers moved closer, Sarai turned to Elias, panic rising. "What will they do to you?" she whispered. Elias leaned closer, his voice calm. "Listen to me," he said. "What I told you before, about the woman I failed to save, it was only part of the truth." Her eyes filled with tears. "There were children," he continued. She stood in front of them when the fire came. She told them to close their eyes. Sarai's breath caught. "She did not run," Elias said. "She trusted the sky to protect them." The soldiers stopped inches from him. That sky, Elias finished, was empty. Sarai felt her knees weaken. The commander gestured sharply. "Enough, take him." Before the soldiers could grab Elias, the station lights cut out completely. Darkness swallowed everything. Then white light. Not weapons fire. Holograms. Hundreds of them. They filled the air, forming images across the hall. Planets. Cities. Earth. Sarai gasped. She saw blue oceans, green land, white clouds. Then fire. Orbital strikes tearing through atmosphere. Cities vanishing in seconds. Screams without sound. The images froze. A new symbol appeared. Not Kaleri. Human. A voice filled the hall, strong and clear. "This is a public broadcast," the voice said. "To all systems, all species, all governments." The Kaleri commander spun, shouting orders. "Shut it down." But it did not stop. The voice continued. "We are the children of Earth. We are the survivors you ignored." Sarai stared at Elias. He was no longer calm. He was proud. The voice spoke again. "You thought humans were weak. You thought we would fade away." The hologram shifted. Human ships appeared, hundreds, thousands, sleek, powerful, advanced beyond anything the galaxy expected. "We learned," the voice said. "We rebuilt." The Kaleri soldiers lowered their weapons, confused. Sarai's tears began to fall. The voice softened. "We did not come for revenge." The hologram showed humans rescuing refugees, rebuilding worlds, standing between weaker species and danger. "We came so that no child will ever close their eyes and trust an empty sky again." Silence filled the hall. The broadcast ended. The lights returned. No one moved. The Kaleri commander looked around, his authority shattered. Sarai turned to Elias, tears streaming freely now. "You planned this," she whispered. "We prepared," he corrected gently. "Why?" she asked. "After everything, why not hate us?" Elias met her gaze. "Because hate burns fast," he said. "But memory lasts." Outside the window, new ships dropped out of hyperspace. Human ships. They moved into formation between the Kaleri fleet and the station. Protective. Defiant. The Kaleri commander's communicator crackled, orders poured in. Confusion, fear. Sarai felt something she had never felt before. Shame. She stepped closer to Elias. "I did not know," she said, her voice breaking. "I swear I did not know." "I believe you," Elias said. That made her cry harder. "Then why did you stare at me?" she asked through tears. "Why me?" Elias answered softly. "Because you looked like someone who still cared." Sarai covered her face, overcome. The station remained silent as history shifted. The Kaleri fleet began to withdraw. One by one, their ships turned away. The galaxy had seen the truth, and it could not be unseen. Elias looked out at the stars once more. Earth was gone, but humanity was not. Sarai stood beside him, tears falling, understanding at last why his answer had broken her. Humans did not stare in anger. They stared to remember. And the galaxy would remember with them. And